Behind the diamonds, mansions, and unforgettable catfights, Dynasty was built on characters whose private battles were often just as dramatic as their wealth. The series became America's #1 television show during its peak, turning several cast members into international celebrities almost overnight. But fame did not lead everyone down the same road. Some walked away exhausted, some rebuilt their careers, and others faced painful personal crises. Let's revisit 11 unforgettable stars and what happened after the Carrington mansion closed its doors. John Forsythe gave Blake Carrington authority, pride, and enough vulnerability to keep the oil tycoon from becoming merely another ruthless millionaire. The role crowned an already distinguished television career, although Forsythe was simultaneously juggling several demanding projects during the show's peak. After Dynasty, he gradually reduced his workload, but returned as Charlie's voice in the Charlie's Angels films. Diagnosed with colon cancer in 2006, Forsythe later died from pneumonia complications in 2010 at age 92. His wife died only 5 weeks afterward. Joan Collins transformed Alexis into television royalty, glamorous, vindictive, independent, and powerful enough to challenge every man around her. Her arrival helped send Dynasty into the ratings stratosphere and revived Collins's career at an age when Hollywood often offered women fewer opportunities. Her personal life included 4 unsuccessful marriages before she married producer Percy Gibson in 2002. Now, 93, Collins is still acting and writing, recently pursuing a long-held passion project about Wallace Simpson while enjoying one of Hollywood's most remarkable late-career chapters. Pamela Sue Martin gave the original Fallon intelligence, sexual confidence, and a rebellious streak that made the heiress far more complicated than a spoiled rich daughter. But rather than remain inside the machinery of a huge television hit, Martin left after 4 seasons and eventually moved far from Hollywood to raise her family in Idaho. Following another divorce, she found fulfillment in local theater and became an artistic director. Now 73, she lives largely outside celebrity culture, making only occasional screen returns, including the 2019 Nancy Drew reboot. John James made Jeff Colby one of the saga's dependable good men, surviving romantic betrayals, family warfare, and enough corporate intrigue to carry him into the spin-off The Colbys. When primetime soap fame faded, James chose a quieter rhythm, moving with his wife and children to a farm in upstate New York. He later returned through daytime soaps and nostalgic appearances rather than chasing another massive television role. Now 70, he remains connected to Dynasty, even performing reunion-style shows with former Carrington co-stars. Heather Locklear turned Sammy Jo from Crystal's troublesome niece into one of the show's most enduring younger characters, then achieved even greater fame through Melrose Place. Her later life, however, included divorces, broken engagements, arrests, treatment, and a difficult period that overshadowed her acting career. Locklear publicly celebrated sobriety in 2020 and returned to acting the following year. Now 64, she lives away from Hollywood's social scene and has entered another personal chapter, publicly appearing in 2026 with actor Lorenzo Lamas after ending a long engagement in 2020. Gordon Thomson made Adam Carrington charming enough to enter a room gracefully and dangerous enough to destroy almost anyone inside it. The scheming, long-lost son became one of Dynasty's most effective villains and earned Thomson a Golden Globe nomination. After the series, he moved into daytime soaps, including Santa Barbara and Sunset Beach. A much more personal turning point came decades later. At 72, Thomson publicly came out as gay and spoke candidly about growing up when homosexuality was criminalized and treated as mental illness. Now 81, he remains closely identified with Adam. Linda Evans made Crystal Carrington compassionate without making her weak, creating the calm, moral counterweight to Alexis and the emotional center of a Blake's turbulent household. Yet years of relentless production eventually exhausted her. Evans left Dynasty in 1988 because of burnout and essentially stepped away from Hollywood. A long relationship with musician Yanni also shaped her post-show years. Now, 83, she has spoken openly about finding happiness alone and surprised audiences by returning to film in Swan Song after decades away. Diane, Carol entered Dynasty determined that Dominique Devereaux would be wealthy, glamorous, ambitious, and every bit as formidable as Alexis. The character became one of primetime television's most important black female roles and added another barrier-breaking chapter to Carol's already historic career. Years later, a breast cancer diagnosis changed her priorities and eventually led her to become an advocate for awareness. She continued acting well into later life, including Grey's Anatomy. Carol died from complications of breast cancer in 2019 at age 80. Al Corley brought unusual vulnerability to Stephen Carrington, a son caught between his father's expectations and his own sexuality. Yet dissatisfaction with how the writers repeatedly shifted Stephen's romantic identity became serious enough that Corley left the series after 2 seasons. That exit changed his career completely. Instead of fighting to remain a soap star, he moved into music and scored an international hit with Square Rooms, then later worked as a producer and director. Now 70, Corley's departure is remembered as a rare early stand over character integrity. Catherine Oxenberg brought elegance and romantic intrigue to Amanda Carrington, Alexis and Blake's previously unknown daughter, before leaving the series after a relatively short run. Nothing in her acting career, however, compared with the crisis she later faced as a mother. When her daughter India became deeply involved with NXYFM, Oxenberg launched a public campaign to get her out, contacted journalists and authorities, wrote Captive, and helped turn the ordeal into a lifetime film. Now 64, family advocacy has become a defining part of her public story. Thank you so much for watching. Dynasty offered audiences fantasy, mansions, fortunes, couture, and unforgettable feuds. But the lives of its performers became far more complicated once the cameras stopped. Burnout pushed one star away, personal crises forced another to rebuild, family tragedy turned an actress into an activist, and others deliberately chose quieter lives over fame. John Forsythe and Diane Carroll are sadly gone, but their performances remain unforgettable. Which Dynasty character made the strongest impression on you?